Join me today as I dive into the Murderbot Diaries, spoiler light, to convince both my son Zach and you that you should drop everything and read this series as soon as possible. Next, now.
So hi there, and welcome to Fantasy for the Ages, the show where my father tries to convince me to read books. I'm the
Yes.
son of that equation, Zach.
And I am the father, Jim, who therefore knows what's best for his son. And I'm going to bring that to the channel here today. That's how fathers work, you know.
Look, I'm not going to fight too hard because sometimes you're right, but sometimes you're not.
And I don't judge you out loud when you make a different decision. It's okay.
That's right. That's right. That's why your favorite phrase is "It's okay that you're wrong."
Just one of my favorite phrases. We could go on for a while on that.
We could, but we shouldn't.
We shouldn't. So thanks for joining us here today. If you have experience with the Murderbot Diaries, I think you'll agree and appreciate what I share, because I'm going to bring today 5 reasons why Zach and anyone else should definitely, top priority, start reading these books. But if you haven't, again, I'm not going to spoil these books for you. I'll give you reasons, true, valid reasons, and you should consider moving right into these books now.
Okay, assuming you're not lying to me, what do you got?
Well, before I do that, we got to remind the people. Like the episode, everybody, and subscribe to the channel. Thanks. Okay, I'm talking about the science fiction series by Martha Wells that has 7 core books and 3 short stories. So it begins with 4 novellas, and this is not way, way, way back. The first novella came out in 2017, All Systems Red. It was followed by 3 more novellas, all in 2018. So Artificial Condition, Rogue Protocol, and Exit Strategy. None of these take a long time to read. They move really fast, the action, very fast-paced, and they all 4 together complete one story arc. Now, each one is its own unique novella. It's got its own rise and fall story, but they're all clearly tied in what they're doing to introduce you to the primary character, Murderbot, and this character's growth arc. The 5th title, Network Effect, was published 2 years later, 2020, and it's the first full-length novel. The 6th title, Fugitive Telemetry, is another novella. It came out in 2021, and it's actually a prequel to Book 5. So its setting takes place between those first 4 novellas and then what happens in that 5th novel.
Okay.
The 7th and final title at this point is called System Collapse. It came out just in 2023, and it's another full-length novel. There are at least 2 more novels scheduled to come out in the series, as Martha Wells is under contract for at least 2 more books, but there's no thought that it will definitely end at that point. There's plenty that can be told in this universe. There are also 3 short stories so far, and they are all very short. Compulsory is a prequel to the entire series, giving us an earlier look at the titular character, Murderbot. Obsolescence is another prequel, even further back in time, and includes no characters from the main story. It's actually building the world a little bit, helping us understand how we're at, what happens in these stories. And the final one, Home, Habitat, Range, Niche, Territory. It takes place between Exit Strategy and Fugitive Telemetry. Okay, that's hard to understand. That 4th novella and the 6th novella. Remember, that comes actually before Book 5. So it takes place between them and focuses primarily on just one of the key characters and Murderbot. Okay, so that's what we're talking about. These are the books out there, all written between 2017 and 2023. Here's my 5 reasons.
Okay.
Everyone needs to dive in. Number 1, this is an incredibly witty and engaging story about what it means to be self-aware, your own entity, as well as the pressures and challenges of relating to others. Okay, that's something we can all relate to.
Yeah, I love wit. I love a nice, witty, potentially snarky story, but especially if it's poignant and relatable, that's them down.
And every introvert in the world will connect to the challenges and pressures of trying to navigate relationships. There are some truly deep statements in these stories, statements about humanity that are buried in fun, action-packed science fiction adventure.
Hmm.
So while it reads super fast, I'll say it's also deeper than you first realize. Number 2, the primary story is told by Murderbot. That's why it's called the Murderbot Diaries. Basically, it's a running commentary on its experiences and choices. Murderbot is a construct, similar to an autonomous android,
Okay.
kind of a cybernetic creation driven by a sentient AI that blends both organic and cybernetic materials in its construction.
I'm seeing where the questions about humanity and what it is to be
Yes,
human is
yes.
coming in.
It is not designed to have free will, but too bad. Murderbot does have free will. And the story this entity tells us is both explicitly reliable, as Murderbot is not human and has no need to lie. It's just a running commentary it's making for itself as it goes through various experiences. But it's also horribly unreliable, as we only see things the way Murderbot sees them.
Mm.
And it lies to itself all the time, just like we all do. Your own perception colors the world around you. We see Murderbot trying to fit the world and its various players into its own framework, the framework it's developed through its own experiences over the years. So we only know what Murderbot experiences and observes, but we also get all of Murderbot's personal observations and snarky judgments about what's going on, which are very skewed, sometimes naive, but also just hilarious to read. So,
Fair enough. I mean, I know you love an unreliable narrator, and now you get to mix it with objective fact. Why not?
Why not? Reason 3, Martha Wells' writing is brilliant.
Okay.
She takes very difficult and often violent circumstances and somehow makes them light and consumable because they are all filtered through Murderbot's perspective. I mean, it's hard to explain that. You have to experience it to truly understand what I'm talking about. Just know there is considerable violence, dismemberment, death, betrayal, other dark occurrences in these books, yet they never come off as heavy or dark at all. It's amazing to see that.
Would you say this reading style is very approachable and it's almost compulsively readable?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Number 4, these books crushed the literary awards that are out there for some solid reasons. I mean, the voters were not wrong. All Systems Red, that first one, won the 2018 Nebula Award for Best Novella, the Hugo Award for Best Novella, and the American Library Association's Alex Award, which is given each year to 10 books from all genres, 10 books for adults that also have special appeal to readers aged 12 to 18.
Well, that's a great start.
Yeah, they're not YA books. They're adult books, but would still be great for that age level. So, yeah, got those 3. The next 3 novellas all had enough votes to contest for the Hugo Award, but Martha Wells only accepted the nomination for the first one, Artificial Condition, which makes sense. You don't want the 3 books, they all came out the same year. You don't want them competing with each other. So accepted it for just one of them, and Artificial Condition won the Hugo Award as well.
So what I'm hearing is, had they been released in separate years, maybe they all could have won.
They all possibly could have. Book 5, Network Effect, then, the next thing to come out, won the 2021 Nebula Award for Best Novel. Again, first time it's full length. Also the Hugo Award for Best Novel, and the Locus Award for Best Science Fiction Novel. I mean, criminy. Wells turned down Nebula and Hugo Awards for Fugitive Telemetry. I think she was like, no, enough. Okay, enough.
I know. Let's recognize somebody else.
And then the Murderbot Diaries as a series won the 2021 Hugo Award for Best Series. Now, that's an award that's only been given out since 2017, and both fantasy and science fiction are lumped together and judged for it. You got to have at least 3 books published. And they have to total at least 240,000 words. So, it doesn't matter that some are novellas. It's total number of words to be considered. And yeah, I mean, just so much acclaim for this series. And as I've been reading through it, I'm like, I get it. This is really good.
look, awards aren't everything, but it is indicative that enough people must think this is pretty good.
Yes. Final reason, number 5. And this is perhaps the biggest reason you need to drop everything and read them now. It's being adapted to television for Apple TV Plus, a 10-episode sci-fi series with the first 2 episodes dropping on Friday, May 16th, 2025. So
That's pretty soon.
a couple of months away. Alexander Skarsgård plays the lead character, Murderbot.
We love him. I love all the Skarsgårds.
I read an article on it. I saw some pictures. It looks to be a very promising adaptation. And honestly, Apple TV Plus has been nailing its sci-fi adaptations. Some really great stuff. I mean, that's where Silo is. There's great
Silo,
content. Foundation is there.
Foundation.
Others, there's things. But just like any adaptation, get the books done first. So that's why I'm saying get on it. Most of them are novellas. You can read them quickly, but you got a couple of big novels there too. Take the time, get them done before May 16th. All right. There's my case, Zach. Are you swayed? Are you convinced?
How do I say this? I started these yesterday.
You were already convinced.
So I'm almost done with All Systems Red. It is what you're saying. It's very enjoyable. I have been enjoying it. Go read it. It's worth it.
Yeah, and it does move fast. I think I read All Systems Red in just 1 or 2 days. You can move right through it. Yeah. So good. Okay, I don't feel bad that I don't have to convince you. You've read enough to know that, yes, these points are solid. But the rest of you out there watching, believe my son. He knows what he's talking about. He's always right. Seriously.
I'm not. But in this case, it's pretty good, and it's a relatively easy ride. And currently, if you are an Audible listener, the first book's just on the Audible Plus catalog, so it's no additional money.
Wow, nice.
I don't know if that'll be true in however many years when you see this video, but if you're seeing it right now, go pick it up, listen. That way you know whether you want to keep going.
I've read them on Kindle, and if you're a Kindle Unlimited subscriber, all of the early books are just included in the Kindle Unlimited option. So I didn't pay any extra to pick these books up.
That being said,
we're
not advocating that you necessarily go give Amazon more money. Just that if you already do, this is more accessible to you right now.
Okay. That's where we'll leave you then. What are your thoughts? Again, if you've already experienced the Murderbot Diaries, do you agree with these points? Would you add into the comments additional reasons why people should read them? Put them down there. If you have a different experience with these books and you're not on board with this, make your points. We'd love to see that too. And if you haven't read them yet and now you're excited to do so, you can put that down. It can be something like, thanks, Jim and Zach. I'm reading them next. Whatever you want. Also down in the show notes, look for the other ways you can connect with Zach and I. All our social media links, our email, even our Patreon page. Thank you to those of you who already support us on Patreon. It's been fun. It's been real. I got more Murderbot to go enjoy. I haven't finished the series yet. I'm getting very close, but I certainly got through enough. I could give you these points. I know I'm on track. It's been fun, Zach. Have a good rest of your day.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. We'll talk to you next time.